Welcome to the Money Cheat Code Podcast. Today we're diving into 6 tiny habits that can transform your financial future in 2026. These aren't extreme strategies that'll burn you out. They're sustainable practices anyone could start today.
Exactly. And honestly, sustainable is the only word that matters here.
Yeah.
If you look at the landscape of success advice right now, it's all just extreme. It's this hustle culture, you know? If you aren't waking up at 4 a.m. taking an ice bath.
Oh, don't get me started on the 4 a.m. club. I tried that.
How'd that go for you?
I thought it was going to be the next big thing, but I just ended up being the guy falling asleep in the 2 p.m. marketing meeting. It felt like I was permanently jet lagged.
Which is exactly what happens. Biologically, it's not sustainable. And that's the problem. That whole style of success is so fragile. It breaks the moment you get sick or have one bad night's sleep.
Yeah.
The research we're unpacking today, it takes a completely different angle. It suggests that building wealth isn't really about intensity. It's about systems. It's about these 6 micro habits that compound over time so you don't have to rely on, superhuman willpower.
I like the distinction, systems versus willpower. Willpower is a battery that runs out.
It absolutely does, but systems just run.
So let's jump in. We've got 6 habits, from productivity to finance. What's number 1?
The first one is, I think, foundational. It's called the energy audit.
The energy audit. Okay.
Usually when people want to get more productive, they go out and buy a planner. They try to manage their time.
Yeah.
But there's a crucial study, I think it was from the Harvard Business Review, that suggests top performers, the top 1%, they don't actually manage their time better than the rest of us.
Really?
They manage their energy better.
Okay, but isn't it just semantics? I mean, time is energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I work 8 hours, I've used 8 hours of energy.
Not necessarily. Think about it. You can sit at your desk for 8 hours, but if you're brain dead for 6 of them because you just sat through some toxic meeting.
Your output is 0.
0. You're working, but you aren't producing anything of value. The whole concept here is that burnout isn't caused by the hours you work. It's caused by the type of work you're doing.
So how do we fix that? I can't just tell my boss, hey, this spreadsheet creates bad vibes, so I'm not doing it.
No, please don't do that. The strategy is to run a diagnostic first. The energy audit.
Okay.
You do this for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. You use your normal calendar, but you color code every single task after you finish it.
Like a traffic light.
Exactly. Red, yellow, green. You mark a task red if it drained you, if you finished it and felt like you needed a nap.
I know that feeling.
Yellow is neutral. And green is for those rare tasks that actually give you energy, where you feel more buzzed after doing it than before.
Okay, so let's say I do this. My calendar looks like a crime scene. It's just red everywhere.
Yeah.
What's the point of just knowing that?
The point is pattern recognition. Once you see the red zones, you can apply 3 specific fixes. The first one is batching.
Batching. Yeah, the idea that it takes like 20 minutes to get back into focus after an interruption.
That's the one. So if you have 5 red meetings a week and they're scattered all over,
And we're the whole week.
they destroy your flow. You never get any deep work done. So the fix is to move all those red tasks to one specific day.
So you just sacrifice one day to the gods of misery.
Pretty much. Make Friday your red day. Do all the admin, all the draining meetings. It'll be a tough day, but then you have 4 days of clean, green energy flow. You're quarantining the toxicity.
That makes a lot of sense. What are the other 2 fixes?
The second is tweaking. This is for tasks you can't move. You just change how you do them. If taking minutes in a meeting drains you, use an AI note taker.
Or switch a meeting to an email.
Exactly. You're not eliminating the task, just the friction.
Yeah.
And the third fix is, well, it's eliminating. And this is the hardest one. You have to ask if a task really moves the needle. If it's red and it doesn't, you delegate it or just delete it.
So the energy audit is about stopping the leaks in your personal battery.
Right. Because you can't build wealth if you're exhausted.
That's a perfect transition to habit number 2. We've plugged the energy leaks. Now we plug the financial leaks. Habit 2 is the money audit.
And this one can hurt. I think most people believe they're pretty good with money.
Because they're not buying a new car every year.
Right. But the data shows the average adult bleeds cash in ways they don't even see. We're talking about subscriptions, aren't we?
I was afraid you were going to say that.
We are. The stats are wild. The average person spends over $1,000 a year on subscriptions. But the kicker is that nearly $200 of that is on services they do not use.
That is literally lighting money on fire.
It is. There was a story in the source material that I think everyone can relate to. It's about a guy who considers himself super frugal.
Okay.
He sees one of those wine deals, 12 bottles for $65.
Oh, I know those. They get you at the intro offer, but the fine print is a nightmare.
Exactly. So, being frugal, he buys the deal and immediately logs in to cancel the subscription so he doesn't get charged again. Thinks he's hacked the system.
Smart.
Except months later, he checks his bank statement. Charged $250.
Ouch. What happened? Did he forget to cancel?
He thought he canceled, but maybe he didn't click that final "Are you sure?" button, or the system just glitched. The point is, he assumed he was safe.
And that assumption cost him.
A lot. If he hadn't done a money audit, that charge would have just kept hitting him.
So how do we do this audit without losing our minds? Because staring at a bank statement for an hour sounds like a red task to me.
It doesn't have to be. The hack is to use technology. Export your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements to a spreadsheet.
Excel, Google Sheets.
Whatever you use. Then you use a feature called conditional formatting.
You're going to have to sell me on conditional formatting. That sounds complicated.
It's super simple. It's one button that says highlight duplicate values. Instantly, anything that appears more than once, Netflix, Spotify, your gym, it all lights up. You just look for the colors.
Okay, that is actually a solid cheat code. So the screen lights up with all these recurring charges. What's the move?
3 steps. First, cancel the ones you don't use. And here's a brilliant tip from the source. Ask for a refund.
For the months you didn't use it, does that actually work?
You'd be surprised. The success rate is reportedly near 99% if you're just polite about it. You just say, hey, I realized I haven't used this in 6 months. I thought I canceled it. Any chance for a refund?
I guess for them, it's cheaper to give you $50 back than to get a bad review.
That's the logic. Step 2 is negotiate. For the subs you keep, like your internet bill, call them and ask for a promo rate. And step 3 is spot errors. Look for those weird fees. A quick phone call usually gets them dropped.
It's basically spring cleaning for your wallet.
And that money you save goes directly into your wealth building.
Which brings us to habit 3. We have to talk about how we actually get work done. This one attacks something I hold very dear, my to-do list. The advice is to replace it with a focus list. What's wrong with the to-do list?
Well, the problem isn't the list itself. It's the psychology behind it. We tend to brain dump everything onto a to-do list.
Buy milk, launch marketing campaign, call mom.
Right. A mix of tiny tasks and massive projects. And it feels productive to write it. But when you look at that list at 6:00 p.m., what do you see? You see all the things you didn't do.
Yeah, I usually do the 3 easiest things and then feel bad about ignoring the big stuff.
Exactly. And seeing those unchecked boxes triggers what's called a failure loop. Your brain registers the day as a loss, you feel guilty, which drains your motivation for tomorrow, and you accomplish even less.
It's a downward spiral. So how is a focus list different?
The focus list is all about deep work. You write the list the night before, but you are only allowed to circle or highlight 3 to 5 tasks.
Only 3. That feels risky.
These are the needle movers. The rule is, if you finish those 3 to 5 circled tasks, the day is a win. Everything else is just a bonus.
I see. It gamifies it. Instead of, I failed because I didn't do all 20 things, it's, I won because I did the 3 hard things.
Precisely. It forces you to prioritize. You stop doing busy work just to check a box.
Okay, so we're focused, we have energy, we're saving money. Now let's grow it. Habit number 4, invest early.
This is probably the most mathematically significant habit on the whole list.
But the objection is always the same. I'll start investing when I have more money.
And that mindset is the single biggest destroyer of potential wealth. There was a famous JP Morgan study that illustrates this perfectly. They compared 2 investors, let's call them Susan and Bill.
Walk us through it.
So Susan starts investing at age 25. She puts in $5,000 a year. She does this for 10 years. And then at age 35, she stops completely. Never adds another penny.
Okay, so $50,000 total. What about Bill?
Bill waits. He starts investing at age 35. He puts in the same amount, $5,000 a year, but he keeps going all the way to age 65 for 30 years.
So Bill invests $150,000, 3 times as much. Common sense says Bill should have way more money.
Common sense is wrong here. When they both retire at 65, Susan actually has more money than Bill, assuming a standard market return.
That is mind-blowing. She put in 1/3 of the capital, but because she started 10 years earlier, she wins.
That is the power of time. Her money had decades to double, and then those doubles doubled. Bill could never catch up because he lost the time advantage.
So the takeaway is, stop waiting.
Yes. Start with $1, start with 5, buy a low-cost index fund. The habit isn't about the amount, it's about starting the clock.
It's better to be Susan with $5 than Bill with $5,000 10 years from now.
100%.
Okay, let's move to habit 5. This is about that feeling of overwhelm. Start a business, get in shape, the goal feels so big you freeze. This habit is the 2% rule.
This is a great psychological hack to bypass your brain's fear response. When you have a massive goal, your amygdala, your brain's fear center, it just lights up. It looks like a threat, so you procrastinate to protect yourself.
We call it laziness, but it's actually a survival instinct.
Exactly. The 2% rule breaks the threat down. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. 2% of that is roughly 30 minutes.
30 minutes, that feels manageable. I can find 30 minutes.
Right. The habit is to dedicate just 2% of your day, 30 minutes, to the specific action that drives your vision. Not planning, not dreaming, but doing.
But, playing devil's advocate here, is 30 minutes really enough to make a difference?
It seems like it's not, but let's do the math. 30 minutes a day is about 180 hours a year. To put that in perspective, a standard full-time work month is about 160 hours.
Whoa! So 30 minutes a day is like spending an entire extra month of full-time work purely on your goal.
Exactly. Compare that to the person who's waiting for enough time and does 0 hours. That 180 hours puts you ahead of 90% of people.
And I imagine once you start, you often keep going past the 30 minutes.
That's the trick. The hardest part is starting. This just lowers the barrier to entry.
That leads perfectly into our final habit, number 6, which is about making that start even easier. Habit 6 is remove friction.
This brings us right back to our opening point about willpower. We are creatures of our environment. If something is hard to start, we won't do it.
The path of least resistance.
Yes. There's a great example about a content creator, an introvert, who kept procrastinating on making videos. And it wasn't because they hated filming.
What was it then?
It was because every single time they wanted to film, they had to set up the lights, find the tripod, check the mic batteries.
I feel that. That's the activation energy. By the time you're set up, you're too tired to actually do the thing.
That is friction. So the fix wasn't get more motivated. The fix was to create a permanent studio setup. Now, when they want to film, they just sit down and press one button.
They remove the barrier.
They made the good habit the easiest thing to do, and you can apply this to anything. If you want to run in the morning, sleep in your gym clothes.
I've actually done that. It feels ridiculous, but it works.
You're weaponizing your own laziness. Add friction to the bad habits. Remove friction from the good ones.
So let's bring this all home. We're not trying to overhaul our entire lives overnight.
Yeah.
We're just looking at 6 tiny levers we can pull.
Exactly. Let's do a quick recap.
Go for it.
1, the energy audit. Manage your energy, not just your time. 2, the money audit. Spot the leaks and stop paying for ghosts.
3, focus lists. Ditch the long list for 3 to 5 high-impact wins. 4, invest early. Be Susan, not Bill.
5, the 2% rule. 30 minutes a day adds up to a full month of work every year. And 6, remove friction. Design your environment so success is the easy path.
It's a powerful toolkit. And what I love is that none of this requires you to become a different person. You just have to be smarter about your systems.
That's the key. Wealth and success in 2026 won't come from working until your eyes bleed. It will come from consistency.
So here is my challenge to everyone listening today. Don't try to do all 6. That's a recipe for burnout. Just pick one. Just one tiny habit to start.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. If you feel like you are working incredibly hard but staying in the same place, ask yourself this. Are you managing your time or are you managing your friction? Because shifting your focus from how many hours I work to how easy I make it to do the right thing might just be the shift that changes your entire financial trajectory.
Managing friction, not just time. I love that. Thanks for diving in with us on the Money Cheat Code podcast. Here's to a wealthy, sustainable 2026. We'll see you in the next deep dive.